What's up, Saxons? I am here today with our district superintendent, Dr. Small, and our principal, Harlan. Some questions that I would like to ask our superintendent. Why should students get involved?
So I've been talking to some students, including yourself a little earlier, and I think there are some definite connections that students can make after school that they wouldn't make during the school day. So, for example, you told me about all the different things you're involved in. What do you think you gained by spending all that time after school hanging out here at Schaumburg?
I gained, well, first of all, I had to learn time management, quickly, and then also gained some really good friendships with people as well. All right, and then what are benefits to student involvement?
I think it's what you mentioned too. Obviously, there's time organization,
Right.
because you have to balance what you're doing after school with also your commitments at home, if you work, and then certainly your studies. And there's friendships that you develop, new people to meet, new adults to meet. I think that's all really important. And I know there's some really fun things for kids to experiment on. And I think, Mr. Harlan, what are some of the cool activities that are going on at Schaumburg?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of different things. So I don't know if you guys know, we have a carom club here at Schaumburg High School, which is kind of like a tabletop, very similar to pool club that we have. We've also recently added a bunch of different clubs, including Black Leader Achievers, Latino Unidos, AAPI, and a lot of other fun clubs for students to get involved in. And as you were asking about what are the benefits of getting involved, ironically, I was just looking at some data before I came up here, and 3 things are true of students that are involved in athletics or activities at Schaumburg High School. The first is they have better attendance. The second is they have higher grade point average. And the third is they actually score higher on the SAT. So just some food for thought. So
That's quite interesting. I did not know that. All right, and then the last question that I have for you is how can students get involved?
So, first of all, I'm sure that Mr. Harlan can share with specifically at Schaumburg, whether it's announcements or however the communication specific to school comes out. But I would say that for students maybe who are unsure of how to be involved but know they want to do something, I would suggest they connect with a teacher or their counselor or an administrator and just say, you know what, I want to be involved. What's going on at Schaumburg? And they can connect them, whether it is telling them when the meeting is occurring or maybe even introducing them to a sponsor ahead of time so they have a connection for that.
So I also have some more questions. I know you're saying about how students can get involved and stuff, but what do you recommend students to get involved in?
So I would suggest that certainly as a freshman, we want all of our students to be involved in at least one activity or sport, whatever it may be. And then it starts to kind of balance out how much time do they have. So really, some kids work, some kids have to babysit when they get home, some kids have a load that requires them to spend a lot of time in their studies. But I think that at least one activity or sport is a great starting point. And most kids know that they really thrive and love to be involved. And some kids know that they like their life to be a little bit more simple and structured so that they have time to do certain things. And I think that's the balance of the individual. But there is definitely something to be said of having a connection to your school outside of just the school day and going through those 8 periods.
I know some kids might not get involved because of social anxiety. So what is some advice you would give to those people to get involved?
I would say they need to start by talking to one of the adults in the building that they have gotten to know, whether it's a teacher, a counselor, administrator. And the first component would be a conversation about what are they interested in. And if we can find something that they may be interested in, then that adult can actually help step forward and maybe have them meet a sponsor beforehand so that when they walk into the room, they already know the sponsor. It could be that they connect them with a student who's been very involved with it and just have a meeting with the 3 of them and say, tell us about this club, so that the student understands what the club is all about and what they would be potentially being involved in.